All right, let's talk about hyperbole. Hyperbole is when you exaggerate the quantity or quality of something to express a stronger feeling, to really show how much you feel or to show how much you mean something. To exaggerate the quantity, like how many or how much, or the quality, like how good or how bad. But one thing that I think kind of gets people is they feel like a lot of poetry is exaggeration or a lot of figurative language is exaggeration. But I want to be clear when we're talking about hyperbole, we're focusing on not saying something is something else or not moving into metaphor, not moving into simile. Because if you said something like, our love is like the ocean, you'd say, well, that's exaggerated. There's some exaggeration there. But it's more of a comparison, right? It's saying our love is similar to or like the ocean. It's comparing these two things. But if I said our love is never ending, I'm not comparing there. I'm not saying it's something else. I'm not saying love is ocean or something like that. I'm saying it won't end, that it will go on forever. I'm exaggerating the length of amount of time we'll love without saying it's something different and comparing it. We're just exaggerating a quality or quantity it already has. Like in this example, I told you a million times I have a ton of homework this weekend. If you tell someone a million times, you're just exaggerating how many times. Maybe it was 2 times, maybe it was 10 times, maybe it was 50 times. But to say, oh, I told you a million times, it's exaggerating how many times you told them something. We're not saying it's something different. We're just exaggerating the number, the quantity. Similarly, if you say, I have a ton of homework this weekend, to say I have a ton means like I have 1,000 pounds of homework. You probably have like, I don't know, 3 pieces of paper, a workbook, at most like a pound of homework if you added it up and actually weighted it. But to say I have a ton, you're exaggerating. You're saying like it's almost as if I had 1,000 pounds if I weighed my homework. We're exaggerating how much paper there is in that case, but it's still, just a workbook and paper. In this poem, Map by Linda Hogan, she has a clear example of hyperbole. She says, this is the world so vast and lonely, without end, with mountains named for men who brought hunger from other lands, and fear of the thick, dark forest of trees that held each other up. Knowing fire, dreamed of swallowing them, and spoke an older tongue. And the tongue of the nation of wolves was the wind around them. To highlight an example of hyperbole here, to say the world is without end. Again, it's not a comparison. It's not saying the world is something else, but the world is so big, or you could walk so far that it is endless, which is simply an exaggeration of size, right? How far you could walk or how big the world is. To say it is without end is to exaggerate the size or scale of the world, which would be hyperbole.